Hi, this is Kacper, and you're listening to the Corner Cutter podcast.
Hi, this is Daniel Goodman.
Dylan Wang from JPerm.
Ian Scheffler.
Kira Munter from India.
This is Alex from Z3 Cubing.
What's up, guys? This is Jaden McNeil from Australia, and you're listening to the Corner Cutter podcast.
Hey, that's right. Welcome to the Corner Cutter podcast. Podcasting since 2014 and cubing since 2015. I'm your host, Josh, and this is the most consistent speed cubing podcast dedicated to entertain and educate you with in-depth conversations with cubers from all across the sport. Check out show notes and links for all the stuff we mentioned in this episode on the website, thecornercutterpodcast.com, and you can find a lot of other great information and resources on there as well. So make sure to check it out, thecornercutterpodcast.com. Today's episode is a little bit different, and that is because I am featuring stories from Kacper, and he shares his FMC stories. He is currently tied for 4th in FMC with a 19-move solve. He also holds an official 20 as well. And today he shares his stories of how he got his 19 and 20. They're very interesting, and he shares what happened before, what happened during when he actually figured it out, and then also what happened after and some interesting facts there. And then after that, we discuss how he got into cubing and also his thoughts about FMC Europe. So let's jump right into his first story.
Hello, I'm Kacper Rafalski, and you may know me from my world record single, FMC single that I did on, that was October actually, 26th of October, and I did just 19 moves on FMC. That competition was Polish Championship 2018. And firstly, that was the first event that was opening the whole tournament. So first scramble of that competition, and actually in the first scramble I got 30 moves. But something went wrong, because it turned out that there were two different scrambles. So the delegate found it, and he was, oh no, we have to repeat it because there's a mistake, so we have to quit all of the results of the scramble. So people that got 26, 27 moves, the results were cancelled. And moreover, we had another 3 more attempts. So on the first, the actual attempt, that was second, but officially the first attempt, I felt good because the scramble was good. I found 4-move edge orientation, and after that I noticed easy 2x2x2, and then what happened next was something that I would never dream about, because after that 2x2x2 there were 5 moves more to create from that position 3 corners left. Actually, that was an easy ZBLL. So 12 moves to last 3 corners, and I felt, oh my gosh, is it real? Is it a dream? I used to dream about 19 moves on FMC and the world record, but that always was a dream, and I am just looking around for other people. I remember on my table was sitting Grzegorz Pacewicz and what was his name? Marek Pepke. And Marek Pepke was the previous. In that moment, he was the current national record holder for FMC single. So he was sitting next to me, opposite to me, to be honest. And I'm looking at him. I was looking if someone found the same, because it was pretty easy solution. Just maybe that edge orientation wasn't so clear, but after that edge orientation, there was all moves were so obvious. And I was okay. So I found that 12 moves to 3 corners left, and I was doing my insertions. I had so much time for doing this because I found it so fast. So I was afraid because I had it. I had such a thing that what if there's no possible for 8-move commutator, and I was afraid of this. But after, when I used my stickers, I put it, and I found that first insertion that canceled that one move. I was so happy that, okay, I have a 19, okay, and I didn't have anything more. I was, of course, thinking about an 18 to cancel 2 moves, but 19 was okay, and my heart beating was. I thought I will die. I could die. Just my heart was exploding in that moment. So I wrote my solution, 19 moves, and I was pretending that I am so silent, so calm, and I gave this sheet of paper to the judge, and I left the room. And after I left the room, there were 2 people, Krzysztof Bober and Szymon Jeziorski, and Szymon Jeziorski was the next person who found the same solution. And after that, I am looking at him, he's looking at me, and I say to him, "What have we done?" And I try to not use any curses, but there were some curses, and what have we done? And he's looking at me, "We have a world record," and such an ecstasy, but we have to be pretty silent. But of course we were outdoor, but we were still afraid that some people can hear us. So I couldn't believe it. We found, of course, exactly the same solution. And I remember one situation about this, that Michał Żywuski was also in that FMC, and he didn't care about the result of his FMC. He treats FMC like such an event that is cool to attend, but nothing to expect. So he left the room right after us. So there were still 30 minutes left, and he was asking us what result have we got. And I wanted to not to say to him, because knowing Michał Żywuski, I knew that he would tell it to other people, and the whole magic of this situation, the moment, would be destroyed totally. So I tried to be like poker face that we have such a pretty good result, but nothing special. I was standing with Szymon Jeziorski, and Michał Żywowski felt that something we are hiding. We are hiding what we are telling him. So we were avoiding him. He was looking to find us. He was looking for us. So for the last 30 minutes, we were in a small room, and just no one saw us. So that was my heart was still, and my brain was. I couldn't believe it, because I would never dream I can get a world record. Especially that was the first time, probably the first ever time that two people got the same world records in FMC, especially in the same day. So that was the first FMC world record for two people that got in the same day. So as we used our all luck because of this 19, in the next attempt, I got 29, which was still good because the scramble was so bad. And Jeziorski got 28, so I was on the worst position. Because, okay, we got world record, but there's still a fight for title of Polish champion. So I was one move worse in that situation. And the third scramble, before the third scramble, the last scramble, I walked to Szymon and I told him good luck. He told me the same, and the scramble was totally trash. I found 14 moves to 7 corners left, so 3 commutators, and I had 25 minutes to do insertions. The insertions was also trash, -2, -2, -1, so the whole solution had 33 moves, but what's the most important, I was writing it very carefully, because I was sure that if I do a mistake, because of the emotions, I could just DNF, and I was afraid of DNF this. So I was still happy that I got that 33, and I knew that I can get at least podium, because I was sure that Szymon Jeziorski can find something better, and he actually found 31 moves, but he DNF'd this attempt. And how he DNF'd this? He was one move away of the cube solved. So Wojciech Szatanowski, when he was checking his solution, he was doing his moves, and after last move, the cube was like one move to solve it completely. He was one move to solve, and Wojciech looks at Szymon. Szymon doesn't believe what's going on. He was crying, to be honest. I didn't feel well because of it. Of course, I got congratulations because of world record, and not world record. World record was in the first attempt, but I got also national record for min. The min was 27 exactly. Szymon Jeziorski didn't even get podium, so that was sad. I got also the title of the Polish champion for fewest move challenge. So for me that day, the first day of the Polish championships, the first day of Polish championship were events of they were side events. So square one, clock, blindfold, solving, and FMC, and I was solving only FMC. So after the last attempt, I just went to my room, to my home, and that's all. That was all. Okay, so I got world record, national record, and the title of Polish champion. But the whole story about it isn't. It's not all, because that was done on Friday, and on Sunday I woke up just for the last day of competition, and I got information from my dudes from my home that Chad Batten has got 18 moves. And I am lying in my bed, and I tell him, "You are joking, yes? You are kidding." And they, "No, it's serious. He got 18 moves." And I am, okay, but it was done in America. So it was done one day. It was done one day after my world record, yes? I still couldn't believe if it's true or they are joking. So my mind was totally broken, and I'm asking them, so is my world record, will it be in WCA results? Is it official, or is it going to be just skipped because of Chad Batten 18? So they are telling to me that, no, it's okay, you have that world record, but it stayed for one day. Okay. And Michał Żywowski, but it still have European record. And he was so funny, and I couldn't believe what's going on, because on that 3 days there were so many things that happened totally from heaven to the hell and on the other side, So I went to the competition, last day of competition, and people are telling to me something like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," or "Congratulations for European record." And my whole day was I couldn't, my brain was totally destroyed. That was the whole day of that competition. And so that would be probably all for this topic, for this situation.
Mm-hmm. I would just like to ask you a few questions about
Yes, okay.
it. After have you gone back over the solution you and the other guy came up with? Have you been able to figure out a fewer move solution?
No, it wasn't possible. That was optimal.
Oh, wow. Okay. Mm-hmm.
To be honest, that was 12 moves. That was 12 moves to 3 corners. So there were only 12 spots to find a spot that I can even use commutator. And there were only 2 spots that I could use commutator. One of them was 8 moves -1, and one of them was 8 moves -0 or also -1. I don't remember, but there wasn't 2 moves cancellations possible. There wasn't such a possibility. But what's more I can say about Chad Batten solution, he had 17 moves to the same situation, so three corners. So he had 5 moves worse situation, but he cancelled 7 moves. So he was so lucky. But okay.
It's FMC.
Yeah, FMC is stupid. To be honest, I like this event because you can have a worse situation, but you can get luck and you can be still the best. So it's for these ones who depends on luck.
Also, my other question was, what's ties in the WCA don't happen too often, except for events like multi-blind, or, well, I guess not even multi-blind, but for FMC. What's it like sharing a world record with a couple other people?
How does it feel to be one of these people, but not the special one? So, yes, like Harry Savage in this moment. Harry Savage is the only one who has 17, so he is so special. In that time, I had 19, and I was sharing this result with 5 people. Yes, counting Ushakov, I think that 5. So, but world record is still world record. I didn't care. So that's all.
Okay.
I would be really angry if there were no cancellations and I would get a 20. I would be so angry. You know.
Yeah.
You get that amount of luck and it totally doesn't play for you. Such a situation. But I was lucky twice. That I got 12 moves to 3 corners and I got at least 1 move cancellation. So,
okay. Yeah. Do you want to briefly go over your 20 that you recently got?
Yes. Yes. Besides that 19 I got in the previous year, 2 weeks ago on CFL Goes Sideways. This was a cool competition that just contained only sideways events and 3x3. And what's the most important for me, there were 2 rounds of fewest moves. So I was like in heaven. I have 6 attempts. So, oh yeah. And I'm in the first round, first attempt, I got 26, which is pretty good, but not the best in this attempt, because Szymon Jeziorski got 24, using the same beginning, but he changed one move and he got better result. The second attempt I got 34? I don't know what happened. I got so trash solution to 34, but at least not DNF. So, okay. And last attempt was in my brain was such a thinking process, because okay, I want to this scramble was bad, because if the scramble is good, one of people can beat my national record. So I was hoping that the scramble is gonna be bad, but the scramble was so great. 2 moves for edge orientation, and I found something that no one else found, because I used that 2 moves. I got edge orientation, and I added 1 move, creating a pair. That pair didn't give anything, but after switching, I used the knees technique. I created pseudo 2x2x2, which created, by the way, another square. So I added 1 move more, creating pseudo 2x2x3. I know these names are strange, but you know, FMC. And in some more moves, I got 13 moves to 5 corners. And it's very good skeleton, but not something that I would expect at 20. But first insertion cancelled 6 moves. So okay, I have 15 to 3 corners, and the second cancelled 3 moves, and I got 20. And after this, I got it pretty quickly. I got this 20 when there were 30 minutes left, and I had such a thinking that, okay, if I go out from the room, people like Szymon Jeziorski can be suspicious because, okay, he found something and he went so early, so I will try to find the same. Yeah, I got such a thinking. This is my thinking process. Yes. So I was, because imagine yourself, you get a 20. You're not able to find anything because you're sure that you will not find anything better, actually. Yes. So I didn't know what to do. So I was sitting and I was pretending that I'm still focused on the FMC. Yes. And I hid my sheet of paper with the result with my 2 cubes, just to anyone could see my solution, that there are 20 moves. So I hid it, and I was playing with my cube, yes. And I was looking around for Szymon Jeziorski, what is he doing? And I felt okay because he didn't find anything. He was totally used stickers for edges, which I didn't use, so I was sure he didn't find the same. And I went out when there were 5 minutes left, and the first person who came to me was Karol Zakrzewski. He may be known from one-handed solving, and he's asking me, what have you done? And I didn't know what to do, because if I tell him I got a 20, he would tell anyone, all other people, and I would be, I don't want to all other people know so quickly, because I want to build such a pressure, yes, to build such a climax. You know that no one knows what I got, and suddenly, 20, oh yeah, okay, you know. So I didn't tell anyone. Actually, I cheated him because I told him that I got 28. so okay. And Szymon Jeziorski got 27, which gave him for that moment 27.00 mean, which was tying with my mean. But my 20 gave me 26.67 mean. So he was, what? He was, okay, you got that 20. You needed 21 to tie your own FMC mean and national record, and you got 20? Seriously? I was so funny because of this. A little bit sad because I stole him from his dreams of national record, but I am such a guy.
Yeah.
For stealing people from dreams. Okay. And to be honest, there was such a strange and funny situation because I was curious, because on the first attempt Szymon got 24. On the second, the best result was 23, and on the last I got 20. So I was curious: isn't it a world record for such a mean containing 3 separated attempts? You know, the best result of each attempt. And I was curious, and it turned out that it is true. We tied the unofficial world record FMC mean for the best potential mean. 22.67 probably, if I count it well. Yes, 22.67. So it's such a curiosity for curiosity people.
Oh, wow.
For curious people, okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now, on March 23rd, 2019, it's going to be FMC Europe. What are your predictions, and what city will you be competing in?
So I still don't know if I'm able to competing. In our country, there are only 2 places to compete, and I'm pretty far away from any of these options. But my predictions: Harry Savage probably, if he's gonna be first, in my opinion. It's also interesting topic that in his world record his world record single, he used domino reduction. And I don't know if people started to practice this technique because it wasn't so often used before his world record. And this technique has potential for breaking new barriers. So 24.00 mean, which is currently world record, is pretty easy, relatively easy to beat currently. So my predictions, as I said, Harry Savage on podium. I don't know which places, of course. Harry Savage, Sebastiano Tronto, maybe someone from Poland, but I don't believe anyone can get it. Maybe Reto Bobendorf, but currently there are so many people, so great people. I belong to the biggest FMC group on Facebook, so I watch other results. Actually, Tommy Kipris, he's not European but Australian, probably. He's such a great FMCer, in my opinion. He's actually one of the top 3, in my opinion. He gets so good results. Tommy Kipris. Who else from Europe? Yeah, Harry Savage, Reto Bubendorf, and Sebastian Tronto.
Yeah, it's such a widespread competition that and so many people competing. I guess it's really hard to decide.
Yes.
Yeah, so before we start wrapping this up, could you just share how you got introduced to the Rubik's Cube, how you got into cubing, and then how you became so interested in FMC?
Yeah, that's a good question that I could spend another 20 minutes for answering. But okay, quickly. Firstly, my first Rubik's Cube, I tried to solve at least one layer when I was 6, 7. Yes, I remember. And first time I solved it, when I learned it was 2009. Yes, so long time ago. But I didn't know that it may be so funny. And I started it again in 2015, so pretty late nowadays. Yes, but for the first year I was solving only 3x3. And about FMC, I started. I got into FMC in 2017 on holidays. That was exactly that was like on my second competition, GLS in Gdańsk. There were FMC, 3 attempts of FMC. I didn't know any techniques, so I used the CFOP. Yeah, I used CFOP and I got 7th place, so I was okay. If I practice, I can be better. And this event looked pretty easy to practice because you don't need TPS, so you don't need good cubes. So that was an event that I was okay. I can be good at it, and nothing can disturb me because good cubes doesn't matter to match. TPS doesn't matter. And after my second competition, which were my first competition with FMC, I started to practice seriously. And starting FMC from the beginning is so hard. You need to get into so specific methods, so specific techniques. So the first month was painful, to be honest. I tried to understand NIS for 3 hours. Yes, I remember. And I found a FMC group on Facebook, and somehow there was a coincidence that they were just starting with a new weekly competition. So I was okay, I can try, I can compare my results to others. And on the first scramble, I got 24, which was my first 30. And I used just CFOP with last layers cube. So that was fun. And
yeah, that's cool.
It may be so strange, but I think that was pretty important moment for me, because I found, okay, so I can get good results. So what if I learn more methods? And I started learning, and I started to compare my result to others. I started to understand other results like Chongwen, Christopher Chi, I don't know how to spell him. And that was the best lesson, just to learn from other people.
Yeah, I think you're right with that point. Sometimes it just takes one bit of success or one good solve to really keep you motivated, or
yes, exactly.
Yeah, so you can achieve your goal. Now, right before we wrap up, do you have like a number one resource for people wanting to learn FMC?
Number one, I would recommend. Many people recommend Sebastiano Tronto tutorial. Yeah, it's good tutorial, of course, but the most important is not to demotivate. Yes, so you have to keep your motivation, and in order to keep your motivation, the best way, in my opinion, is to, like I did, just to start on weekly competition on Fewest Moves group on Facebook or other groups, and you can start with bad results, but the most important is to understand what the best people do, and this is the best method in my opinion. Because FMC, there is no one specific method, so you need to know what people do the most often. Yes, the most frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see, okay, this guy starts often with EO, maybe that EO starting is good because he gets so good results, so I will try it. And and if you see some tutorials, you have theory, but you have no practice. It's something like this.
thank you for sharing your stories and insights. I really learned a lot about you, and the tips you gave were great.
Thank you for this conversation. I feel really pleasure to be able to talk with you.
Thank you, Kacper, for coming on the podcast. Those were some interesting stories, and thank you for the great tips at the end as well. So if you have any feedback on this episode, please feel free to email me. My email address is josh@thecornercutterpodcast.com. And you can find the show notes to everything that was mentioned on my website, thecornercutterpodcast.com. Also, you guys send in your answers to the February question of the month. I'm not going to release the answers I already have until I get a couple more, because I want you guys to send them in, and I know you guys still can. So the next solo episode will have the answers if I get enough. So the question is, what is your favorite YouTuber and why? So just go to thecornercutterpodcast.com/feedback and record an audio message there on SpeakPipe. I look forward to hearing your answers. And I think that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. And now it's time to take it back to the scrambling table. And I'll talk to you guys again next week in episode 72 of the Corner Cutter Podcast.